Okay, so we're learning Likutei Lechos and Parshas Bo, and the topic actually is the question I actually just raised right now, and it's a very, very good question, which is that how can you tell who's a faker and who's not? You have tzaddikim, and you know the misnagim, the so-called misnagim, opponents of Hasidus, they would say that being a lamdan, if you're like a really learned, deep delver in halacha and in Gemara, so it's like having a fever. You can tell if a person has a fever. You just talk to them. Take about 2 minutes. Put your hand in his hand. Don't let him put the thermometer into the light bulb, right? You check him. He can try to fake it, but like Balan, it's very hard to fake it. Rav Yaakov always says when you have a mukubal, so-called mukubal, he said, okay, ask him to give a shiur in Gemara. Let's see what he can do. Give a shiur halacha. Let's see if he's like, does he have it? I don't know if that's necessarily important to everyone. That's his insight. The point is, you can tell. That's the point. The point is that you can tell, you can see and tell and say, I can determine and say, hey, the guy doesn't learn, he doesn't learn. He's a tzaddik is like a guy's, oh, my stomach hurts me, I have a stomach ache. Does he have a stomach ache? Hey, how are you supposed to know? It's even worse than that, because a tzaddik, if you think about it, a tzaddik, today's a tzaddik doesn't mean tomorrow's a tzaddik. Just because he was a tzaddik doesn't mean he's going to stay a tzaddik. So what's going to be? Like, if I can't tell, and if yesterday, wow, he was a tzaddik. Not today, who knows what he's doing, who knows where he's holding, who knows? So this is a very, very, very good question. It's a very confusing question. So the first thing to be aware of is when you're dealing with a tzaddik or not a tzaddik, this whole topic, like the Maisa, the Baal Shem Tov, Commander brings the Baal Shem Tov saying any person, even if he's a klutz, he's like an absolute loser, like this the Yiddish, like loser, Shlomo whatever, klutz, whatever, drops things, fumbles the ball all the time. He's got 10 yidden under him, they hold him for the Rebbe. He said that is he's gonna have big siyata d'shmaya. So one way or the other way, he's not real. Siyata d'shmaya you'll have. That's what the Ramban and Basra also, there's a couple places there that the Maisa, he explains that you have this nivua, but you have this siyata d'shmaya of someone that comes from the emunah tzaddikim. We have a muna. We should say having a muna in a tzaddik, even if he's not a tzaddik, he is not. Your muna also has the power to do things, and even if you're a fool, your muna has the power to do things. That's a story. I don't know if I guess I'll tell a story again. The Alshich, it's a very, very favorite story of mine. To get like an understanding what if the Jewish people believe something, it's not so simple that it's nothing. We spoke about the story a lot. Right? The Alshich one time he was raising money. There was an earthquake in Swas, I believe, and he was raising money. Maybe even out of Israel, and he went to a place there was really no tzaddikim in this place, and this guy who really was impressed with him. Wow, he's mamish. This guy is connected to Hashem 24/7. He's really holding the Alshich. So he went over to him. He said, we have a big deficiency in this town. We don't have any kibbutz tzaddikim. There's no kvarim here of a tzaddik where we can pray, which is the holiest place. So Alshich said, all right, I hope Hashem will help. You'll have a tzaddik. He said, no, but we have a tzaddik, and we need to have a tzaddik. And he started to chad that this guy wants to help him make it to the grave so that he'll be a Karat Tzaddik in this place. So Ashik was like, okay. So Ashik was the real deal. So he was like, I'll ask him Shemayim. So then he ran away. I'm just kidding. He didn't run away. What happened was he did actually this call like they did. And he was told, yes, this is nonsense, but if the guy really sincerely believes it with his whole heart, it has validity. So his question was, is it true? And the second question is, if it's true, is it something I do? I have to let him kill me? Like, what do I do? I have to take poison? What am I supposed to do? So he said, but you don't have to do what he said. You can tell him that you'll make yichudim on the table, and the table will be a bechin of a Karat Tzaddik. And that's what he did. He said, you're right, but I'll make yichudim. He made yichudim for several hours on this table. It became, so there's a bechin of a person who has beliefs in this mishugas. I was speaking of someone about anyway, about Reform conservative Judaism, like Lamai said, if a person believes it, it's not nothing. He's talking nonsense, but it's not zero. He's trying. There are halachically his tefillahs don't count. Halachically, your tefillahs are not allowed to be in a place where there's mix. There are different problems with the halachically with tefillah. You have to read daven, and this again ties what we were saying about these Hasidim who daven late or whatever they're doing. I mean, because like on the Raisa level, like when a person is really sincerely turning to Hashem, he's not davening shachos. He might have davening shachos again. He might have blow the shofar again. But his tshuva is very, very, very powerful. It's not nothing. It's not nullified. Halachic tefillah, it's not. Just Chazal don't let. But if he's in a good place, his tefillah is moving ahead, going right after the kitzur company. He's sincerely. What do you think? He's doing tshuva for everything. Whatever the fee is asag, the fee is understanding. That's very, very precious. even if it's nonsense. So the same thing on the side, the first thing that Nosson also says, he's when a person sincerely is searching for a person who's able to give them the right guidance and help them. He says, you found the wrong person. This guy's in it. He wants your money. He wants honor from you. That is totally his motivation, 100%. He said, but God will help you anyway, because you're looking, you're striving, you're searching, and usually you'll find the right person, or you'll get this Yad Shema you need with this Nebuch, this guy who's Nebuch, this is what he is. I once wrote it, I don't remember who it was. He said that he wrote in the Gemara, and he said that the person who puts on the mantle of being some big Rebbe, and he's not holding by anything, right? He's told you once, I want your money, right? I want money, so I want your honor. I want to be honored. I act like something, right? Chas v'shalom, right? So he said he should be judged like, oh, you think you're a big tzaddik? Okay, so klapei Shemayim. Shemayim should say, let's check him out like a tzaddik. Fine, we will give you the same standard as someone who's a real tzaddik. He said, but they don't do that. He said, because Nebuch, the guy, he doesn't really know what he's doing. It's not his fault exactly. Like he was looking for a tzaddik, and this whole, he's really holy and pure. He's good. He means well. He doesn't know better. His behemoth is overcoming him in this type of way, Nebuch. So the Maisa, the first thing to be aware of, number one, is that you have Sefer Shema anyway. Number two is usually the general rule is that if you get an or from it, it helps you. That's already probably something that's from a sincere place on some level. It doesn't have to be. It can be. It's like it's chitzonius. Sometimes it's a bechina of there's a chen. There's a kind of charm and a grace. So sometimes a chen shel sheker. It's fake. It's not real chen. The guy, he has the right to candelabra, the right to shrine, the right to this way. It's not real. It's not anything actual. It's also important to people, and that there's something that can sort of help. So it's hard to absolutely determine when you see you have a toilet and it helps you can try to strive and serve Hashem. Over time, Chassidim would tell you that it's all very nice. Yeah, okay, it's like a belay, but like when you see that the person's pretty much like, generally speaking, he's going with what you need to get, and he's doing what you're supposed to do, and it's helping you very much to be in contact with this person. It's helping you, so if out of pastures, that's a person that's at least a higher level than where you are, and it's helping you to get where you need to go. Mashenki, without that, it's harder a little bit. Of course, being in contact with Tzaddik, I want you for abortion, it's very, very true. It doesn't last. It gives you something, but you have to keep on getting in proximity to this person, to the tish, keep going to it. That's what the idea is. So the first thing with Nosson, he says you have to know there are levels and levels and levels. Let's read in the parsha. It says Laman Picha, right? You have to have the Torah of Hashem in your mouth. So Chazal say that means what's mutter to your mouth you can use to make tefillin. When you make tefillin, is this from something klaf of a kosher animal, not a non-kosher animal. But it doesn't have to be shechted. It can be even treif or whatever. You use the skin to make klaf.
Is it?
And it's kosher. It's fine. So Nosson says this is the idea of the klaf has to be made on a bechina, on a thing where it's purified. You get rid of the bahamis. So the more a person as a tzaddik overcomes and picks up his bahamis, the more he's really going to be holding in a high place. But again, it's very, very easy. People don't realize this. The tzaddik still has the behemoth inside him. And like the Mechtaniyah says, when you're dealing with your taivas and you're pushing, it's like a spring. It's a spring. If you let go, then boom, you have the eagle. Terrible thing. Terrible repercussions, horrible things. So that's the bechina. You have to be zochet to really hold. That's why you need a lot of humility, a lot of anova. You have to really feel like that's like the Ramak says. You have to really feel like you're not doing anything. It's all from Hashem, and really get to this place of where you get humility. Like that's really what it comes down to. If you want to really be in a place where you're the real deal. First thing is this bechina. So in terms of people who have shachs abrasive, and maybe even other rebbes very often, they understand that really you're not doing any big deal. You're just a waiter bringing down. You're bringing teachings from other places, from very great people, from people who are really holding. So it's not about me. It's about bringing these teachings in and trying to help you in there whatever way I can. So that's this idea. Like, what do you have? If you have an insight, you have an understanding. You're supposed to share it. You're not supposed to keep it yourself. So that's a part of what it's about. So again, you have to understand that the more purified, the more you purify the bahamis, the more you really want ruchnis, you really want purity and goodness. That's what's going to determine. That is what's going to determine how much tzaddik you really are, and how much you can give someone else on a real level. There are levels and levels. Listen, the tzaddik's supposed to have Ruach HaKodesh, right? So a Ruach HaKodesh, that's the Ramban I always like to bring. The Ramban brings in, the Shai Kedusha, the Ramban. The Ramban says there was a story of these guys. This guy was a big, he was a big lamdin, he was a big askin. He married off Yisomah and Almanas. He did big hasogim that made stuckas and big things, big things. So the Ramban says he heard about. There was a whole group of misburied. These guys sat as they were alone in these caves, And they got Ruach HaKodesh, they got like tremendous insight and deep understanding, like divine inspiration. He's like, what about me? I also want to get this. This is great. These guys are shining and they're connected. So he went to the guy in charge. He said, I also want to. So I'm telling him about the different things he's done. I do this, did this, did this, did this. And I want to also be one of the people who get the Ruach HaKodesh. So the person in charge of this, he said, listen, this is what you need to do. He said, this is what you need to do in order to, if you want to be ready to learn with us. He said, you take a box, and then nuts were very expensive, a box of these delicacies, very cool, like big chocolates for us, right? These nuts, these really expensive things. You go around the city a whole day, and you say, whoever slaps me across the face will get a nut. Give them a chocolate. He said, after 24 hours, when you're deflated a little more, a little deflated, maybe you'll be already at a place where you're not so full of yourself that it's possible to teach you. Otherwise, I can't help you. You're very learned. Yes, you've done a lot of good things, but you're so full of yourself, we can't reach you. It's like, this is the problem. This is the thing. I'm saying this is a nice thing, but it doesn't. That's how it works. You have to have a person. The first thing is a person supposed to have like profound humility. He's not the Rebbe. He's not the this. And I guess I'll conclude with the story with the Kapishitzer Rebbe's. There was a person who was he was married in Vienna. It was just before the time when the Nazis were going to go into Austria. So he got away, he went to America to join his business partner, who was a Ger Chassid, I believe. They gotten together, whatever, doesn't matter. And they're doing their business, and within like a month later, it's like impossible to get his wife out. His new wife. Can't get a visa, can't get anywhere, and it's getting harder not to going in, who knows what's going to happen. Here's terrible shmuz. He's like, I'm like losing it, I'm just going to like drop dead from the stress, or maybe jump down from the roof, I just can't take it anymore. My wife, I need my wife, what's going to be, I can't live this way. I heard B'Shem Revda that he was once trapped. When there was a war here, he was trapped, I think in America, he couldn't fly. And he said it was very tense for the family life, it wasn't touching. Not pushing, living on another country, what's going on, there's a war, it's very not geschmack to not be in place with your family. And this guy's like, who knows what'll happen, worse than that. Terrible. So the Ger Chassid, listen, before you like blow up from stress, or you jump off a roof, or something, when you come to the Rebbe, because Pish the Rebbe is a Chash B'Yid, listen, what can happen? What can be wrong? What can be bad? Maximum, you could always do anything drastic after you meet with him, whatever, So they went to meet with the Rebbe, and the Rebbe's like, I see. So she's to tell me. Is to tell me if I can promise you, guarantee, in a month, she'll already be on the way home. She'll have a visa. She'll be on a ship. So you can wait up. You're okay. He said that would be like Yeshua. What a thing. So he said, okay, yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna be fine. 1 month she's on the ship. Go keep making your stuff. You will see Shabbat Shema. In 1 month. The Ger Chassid was like, he never ever heard this Rebbe give any haftacha from anyone. He never ever said, it'll work out. He said, willing Hashem will help. He never said this like, it's a chrayas, a month, And the guy went out, he felt very light to his partner. He felt light what the Rebbe said. He said, he doesn't usually promise. He promised, well, hopefully it'll work. And things started moving. A month later, she was on a boat. And then this Chassid was like, wow, he's like a Navi, he's like, wow, unbelievable. So he went to see him and said, I'm mamish like the Bashanta, like these stories, wow, unbelievable, what happened, you promised him, and you knew. So he was like, he said, I'm sorry, your take on things is a little bit delusional, like, you're really way off, I'm sorry, don't get me wrong. He said, what had happened? You brought me someone here who was like prone to jump off a roof or die of stress. He said, so I have a chiyuv d'oraisa, right? Because the Bikuach never to say any lie in the world to give him another month, another chance, and maybe he'll get it together. He said, I would tell him anything. I was afraid to say longer than a month because I figured it was too long. He's afraid of the Nazis. So I started thinking, I said, maybe a month. That's why I asked him, a month will do it. He's like, no, a month, he'll feel very light. Yeah, I'm afraid to say it aloud. And whatever I had to say, I'd say. He said, you guys left. I said, I turned to him and said, I can't bring the guy's wife on the boat. I'm absolutely nothing. I'm powerless. He said, let's make a deal. I'll say till him, and you bring his wife here, because I can't do anything. I had no choice. I had to say that, that I had to say it. I said it. I don't want people to make me a liar, please. I don't want to, Chil Hashem. I told him, but I had no choice. He said, the Baruch Hashem worked out. That's what happened. I knew nothing. I knew Allah. I saw the person coming to me. This is the way it is. That's a real Rebbe. The basis of Gur heard the story from this Ger Chassid. He said, say it again. He said it again in the Rabbi. He said, that's a real Rebbe Shemaifis. The person is not, I promise you, it's not about me. It's about connecting to but Allah may do what you're supposed to do and connect, being real. When the Blushim Rebbe came from Nebuch from Europe, lost everything. So Commissioner Rebbe, he had already a shtibel, he had a house, he had a chassidim, he had a little place, whatever he had. Rebbe came and he saw how broken he had nothing. Went through the Holocaust, nothing left. He said, listen, I'm going to introduce you. He said, you are now the Rebbe of this shtibel. He said, I'm done. I will rebuild. I have connections in America. I'll be fine. My house next to shtibel is your house. My shtibel is your shtibel. My chassidim here, your chassidim. I'll start. He totally started fresh. And he just put him in. Like, you know, he's broken. He comes from a place, this is what he's supposed to be. He was a Rebbe, he's supposed to be. He just did it. There's the people who were, you know, they're in a different place. The person not looking for cover. They said, be on the Moetzes Gdolei Torah. He said, I'll do anything the Moetzes Gdolei Torah says. I'm totally nullified, but I can't be on the Moetzes Gdolei Torah. It's just not I couldn't find myself there. I'll do whatever you say. I'm not the guy to be. He was very like working humility, so something like this is Mistoma. That's what he's holding. That's his whole life. A person dedicated his whole life. You see over time. You see where you're holding. You see how you're holding. And of course, there's ups and downs. So the answer, of course, is I have no idea, and it's very hard. And every person has to find for themselves and do their best. And all we have to do is our best. We don't have to do more than that. That's the bottom line of things. And Hashem Shabbat Bizocha. You know, a person's lamb. He could also be a Bagay in a Russia, lunch. The Torah, that the Chayadim even says, even the Misnagdim, like Neyor Shalayim, like it's a Gemara. Hello, he has nothing, nothing happening. You have a very assets that are potential, but not actualized. You can't do anything with them because it's not real. It's like he's a professor. Professor, he knows the whole Talmud. Who cares? So you're not, JTS. I always like to say this. They wanted to, for a while, they wanted to take a non-Jew to be in charge of Talmud there. So it made a big stink. The people, it was like in the 80s or the 70s, whatever it was, maybe before. People were like, what the God? Like, what are you joking? He knows the Talmud, like, who cares? So eventually, like, okay, you know what, forget it. It's too much. The congregants don't like it. But, like, it's a Jewish thing. You can't get a guy, like, the guy has no Shatziyuskite, he doesn't pray, he doesn't really forget about, okay, they wouldn't care he's not converted. They'll give a stream show. I don't know what he does exactly. He converted to mikveh. He does go to mikveh, it doesn't matter. But nothing Jewish about him, like Tom Goy, like Mr. Smith celebrates Xmas, he goes to the church or not, and he's like the JTS Talmud in charge of the faculty of Talmud. Like, come on, you gotta be kidding. This is the problem. And we know Yerushalayim. We have Yerushalayim. Person of Yerushalayim, he's the biggest lamb. The Gemara Rambam Shulchan Aruch says we're not interested in him. He just sits there, he's like a college, he's nothing. We're not interested in his halachic insight. We're not interested. It's not the same as his physics or whatever. Where a person makes a difference. We want the person who also has at least some Yerushalayim. It's very, 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 very precious and very, very, very important. And forget, the more chachma you have, the more prone it is for a person. That's what it says. So he has to have more. If he doesn't have the yura, he's not working on the yura. He's not going to really. He's missing something integral. Shem Shel Bizoche, or Yerushalayim, Tzaddik, to work on the Bahamis a little time, purify, becoming pure. Like again, getting that behemoth, the behemoth skin, like trying to purify it, not to be so into the goof, so we can't the limit. Again, not in an unhealthy, bad way, in a good way, in a positive way, to try to connect, to try to realize that I have a matar, I have a purpose, and I want to leave Mitzrayim. That's really what it's about. I want to get out of Mitzrayim. I want to be in Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is meitzar, constricted. Meitzar yamis. You can't get together, can't potential and actualize. I want to actualize myself. What's my mission? I want to do my life mission. I want to do my job here. Try to do it. Every person has to find what I need to do, how I need to do. See how to Amen.